Hello, Yawning Angel back again with another AMOS Pro video, and in this video we're going to be looking at parallax scrolling in AMOS, so let's check it out. So this video continues on the AMOS screen tutorial videos that I've been doing. These videos have proven to be incredibly popular, so there's quite a lot of you out there who are getting something from them. Awesome! So in the last video we looked at screen scrolling. There's a link to that video up here. I do suggest you go and watch it if you haven't done so already, and maybe try and catch the video prior to that too, because what we're doing here, we're bringing together all these screen commands: screen copy, screen scroll. Everything is coming together to be used in this video, where we're going to introduce a new command, and that command being dual playfield. Now, the dual playfield command enables us to have two screens, one which overlays the other. And what we're going to do is have scrolling on both those screens to create a parallax scrolling effect. This is so cool, and you're not going to want to miss out on this. But there are a couple of gotchas that we need to be aware of, and I'll cover those off at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned. So, all going well, let's get a cup of tea and crack on with it. Okay, here we are then, cup of tea in hand. That's a good cup of tea. Do like my tea. Okay then, so here we are. So I've got a bit of a shell of a program. I've already written some of the code because I don't want to bore you with all the usual stuff that we usually cover. So the first thing that we're doing in this program is we're defining three screens. So the first screen will be the screen where items are copied to and from for the scrolling. So this is screen one is going to be our dumping ground for the screen copy command, and we'll come on to that later. Screens 2 and 3 are the playfield screens. So these screens are going to be the screens where one overlays the other and is used in the dual playfield command. Now, all of these screens have been opened at exactly the same size, resolution and colors. So we've got 320 by 200, 8 colors, and they are low res. Why only 8 colors, Yawning Angel? Well, that will become clear later. We're then, as we did in the last video, we're actually defining our scroll areas on the two screens, not just the one this time. So we define our scroll number 1, which is 0, 10 to 320 to 81, and that's a speed of 1 on the horizontal axis, so it will scroll to the right, and there is no vertical scroll. The second scroll we define, scroll number 2, is the same, 0 to 10 to 320 to 81, and the speed of this is 2, so it's slightly faster, okay, on the horizontal axis, and there is no vertical scrolling. So then we've got a procedure here to create a star field, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Then what we're going to do is set the dual playfield using screens 2 and 3. We're then going to have a main loop where we're going to copy our screen 2 to screen 1. We're then going to copy screen 3 to screen 1 as well. We're then going to switch screens and do some scrolling. We're going to switch screens again and do some scrolling, and then we're going to copy those areas back, and then I've just got a wait key command in here if you hit the space bar, because I need to show you the scrolling happening and something odd that occurs. This is my star field procedure. Dead forward, I'm just using the plot command here to just dump some pretty colors on the screen. So please note, because I've defined 8 colors on the screen, I'm only using those 8 colors. So I've got an RND for 7 here, so that's 0 to 7 will be the colors, the color code which is assigned to I. So when I do the plot on X and Y, it will be a different color each time, but only within those 8 colors that we've defined for our screen. And then there might be some extra fun later on. So extra fun is always good, isn't it, Yawning Angel? Oh yeah. Right, so if I run this program, I've got a pretty star field. Look at that. It's just blinking. You know, you've got some, because obviously I think it's color number 3, which does the flashing. So we've got some blinking lights in there. We've got all pretty colors, and pretty much that's all it does for now. So let's now start to make some changes in here. We'll add in some extra code and get the dual playfield command working and have some fun. Right then, back to the top of the code. So something I do need to do in here is I need to take out this hide command. So this hide in the screen setup here, this is to hide the mouse pointer. And for this, I actually need the mouse pointer active. So we've defined the two scroll areas, one moving at, at speed 1 as it were, the second one moving at speed 2. We've defined our star field. Now we're going to set our dual playfield. So what we're going to do, we're going to tell AMOS that we want to set up a dual playfield. We want to take one screen and overlay it over the other. So the dual playfield command is referenced in the AMOS Pro manual. We are on page 060106, dual playfield. So the command is really, as you would expect in AMOS Pro, very straightforward. Dual playfield. That's the command. And then we tell it which screens we actually want as part of our dual playfield. Now don't forget we've defined 3 screens. Screen 1 is our screen copy dumping ground, which I'll explain more on later. And screen 2 and 3 are the screens that we're interested in. So what we're going to do is tell it dual playfield, you want screen 2, screen 2 and screen 3. That is all we do. That's how we do it. We just define dual playfield, tell it we're going to use screen 2 and we're going to use screen 3. AMOS is a happy camper. So something to bear in mind, because you're probably thinking, well, Yawning Angel, if you take 2 physical screens and overlay them, surely you're only going to see the screen on the top. Aha! Aha, I say, because, reference in the manual, basically we've defined 8 colours. So in the manual it tells you what colours you can have on each screen and what resolutions they can be. You are limited in your colours because don't forget, as you start doing stuff like this, it's eating memory. So you need to reduce the number of colours. So I'll just read this line here. The colours of these screens are taken from the palette of the first screen, with colour 0 being treated as transparent. Aha! That's how it's done. It takes one of the colours and treats them as transparent. So if you've got 8 colours, all of a sudden one of them has vanished because now it's transparent. So bear that thought in mind because that will come into play later on. Right, so we've got our dual playfield all set up and that's all done. Good. So literally that is it. That's how we set up a dual playfield. So now what we want to do is start doing some screen copying. So in our main loop, so our main loop is going to be handling the scrolling and the copying. So the first thing we need to do is a screen copy. So screen 2, and we're going to take position 315, so X position 315, our Y position of 10, to our X position of 320, to our Y position of 81. So that's that segment at the side of the screen. Remember in the last video, this is what we did. And we're going to copy that to screen 1, position 315, 10. So what AMOS will do, it'll take from screen 2, that bit at the edge, copy it and just dump it on screen 1 in pretty much the same position. That's fantastic. We need to do the same now for our second screen. So we do a screen copy screen 3, the same position, 315, 10 to 320, 10, 3,81. 2, and I'm going to dump this on screen 1, and pretty much because I'm just treating screen 1 as a dumping ground, I can dump this anywhere, but I'm trying to keep it a bit ordered, so I'm positioning that at position 305, 10. So it's going to take the rightmost edge from screen 3 and kind of just dump it in 2/3 of the way along on screen 1. It doesn't matter as long as it's not interfering with our first piece of screen that we've copied. You can pretty much dump that anywhere you like because we're only treating screen 1 as a dumping ground. It's just a temporary holding place for the bits that we're copying out from screen 2 and 3. So what I'm going to do now is just break and just explain on paper how that all works. Right, so for this program we have got 3 screens defined. Okay, so this will be screen 1, then we'll have screen 2, and we'll have screen 3. Right, so what we're doing with this program is we're just going to use screen 1 as a dumping ground for the things we copy from screen 2 and screen 3. So our first screen copy command comes into screen 2, and it says what I want you to do is take from 315, so that's our x coordinate 315, and 10 down. Yeah, I want you to take that bit and I want you to copy out this section to 320 down to 81. Copy that bit, and I want you to move that to screen 1. So that's what our copy is going to do. It's going to dump it onto screen 1, and it's going to put it at position 315 and 10 down. So it's going to copy, it's going to copy it to there. Okay, so that's our first screen copy. Now our next one is going to take from screen 3, and it's going to take position 315 and 10 down to 320 and 81. So it's going to take that same piece pretty much as from screen 2, but it's going to grab that and it's going to copy that to screen 1, and it's going to dump it at position, I just literally picked an arbitrary position. It's going to put it at position 305, comma 10. So it's going to do this. It's going to copy it to there. So those are effectively our two sections that have been copied. So this is from screen 2, and this is from screen 3. So that's the first part of the screen copy. Once that copying is done, then of course we initiate our scroll commands, and of course we instigate our wait VBL as well, before we then copy back. So now, with that done, so we've copied our screens. So what we need to do now is actually instigate some scrolling. So what I'm going to do now is tell AMOS, what I want you to do, AMOS, is go to screen 3, and I need you to activate the scroll 1 definition. So where we defined scroll 1 up here, this bit here, what I'm now telling it to do, go to screen 3 and now scroll that piece of screen. You might notice with the screen scrolling definition code, there's some bit up here, right? We only tell it the number. We only define what number scroll it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. We don't actually tell it what screen we're scrolling. We've just defined that area. So this is why down here I'm now telling it, go to screen 3 and I want you to activate that scroll. Something else I want you to do is I want you to wait for a vertical blank line. Those of you who've been following these videos of mine, and where we looked at sprites and bobs and animating things on the screens, wait VBL, very important, wait for vertical blank line. Then what we need to do is do exactly the same for screen 2. So now AMOS, go to screen 2, and I want you to activate scroll 2. And after that, I want you to wait VBL. Let's just line that up and let's get that code tidied. So this is what we're doing. We're copying the screen, we're doing our scroll, and then we do our scroll for the next screen as well. And then we come back and we go, well, now what we need to do is copy that information that we dumped on screen 1. We now want to bring that back to screens 2 and 3. So this is what we're going to do. So screen copy from screen 1. We dumped something at position 315, 10 to 320, 81, and now I need to bring that back to screen 2. And because we were taking it from the right hand side, I need to move it to the left hand side. So I'm dumping that on screen 2, so 0 pixels across and 10 down. Then what I need to do is I need to do the same for screen copy 1. So remember, this is the next bit. We had at position 305 comma 10, and that would have gone to 310, comma 81. Don't worry, I will explain this in a bit. Now that needs to go to screen 3, position 0 across 10 down. So we've taken that code that we dumped into screen 3. We now brought it back and put it on the left-hand side of the screen. So that should be working quite nicely. So let me quickly break out here and we'll just explain that on paper very, very quickly. Okay, so we've got screen 1, which is our copying dumping ground, as it were, and we've got the section of screen 2 copied over here, and we've got the section of screen 3 copied over here. So after we've done our scrolling and we've done our wait VBL, then we need to copy back. So what we do, we go to screen 1 and we're going to copy, the first bit we're going to copy is from 315.10 to 320.81, so that's this bit, and we're going to move that back to screen 2, but we're going to put it starting at position 0 across and 10 down, so we're going to dump it here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to move it back here, because as the scroll has happened, it's gone off this side of the screen and we need to bring it back round to the start of the screen. So that's that screen copy. And then we want to do the same with for screen 3. So the piece we copied from screen 3, we're now going to copy back from screen 1 to screen 3. And we're going to put that pretty much back in the same position as we did for screen 2. Because don't forget, they're moving at different speeds, so we can do this. So we're going to copy screen 1 to screen 3, position 0, 10 down, and once again, we're just going to dump that piece back in there, because once again, with this screen, the item has scrolled off this side and we need to bring it back round to the front. And that's how we do it. We've copied into exactly the same places, but we've had to do it across 2 screens because we have 2 screens in our dual playfield and they're moving at different speed in terms of their scrolling. There you go, quite straightforward. Right, more tea. I do forget when I do these videos, I talk quite a lot and I forget to drink and my mouth gets very dry. I could use water, but tea is my go-to drink of choice. Right, enough of this tea drinking, Yawning Angel. Let's run some code. So do F2, there are no errors. So we should be good to run this code. And let's see what happens. So here we go. Look at that. Look at it. Gaze at its glory. We have parallax scrolling. Look at that. The 2 star fields that we created. One is scrolling faster than the other. Look at it. Gaze. Just gaze at its wonder. There you go. Parallax scrolling in AMOS. We're done. Ta-da! No, I'm only joking. There's more stuff to cover. So this is how you can actually quite quickly and effectively get this kind of effect. Now, the observant among you are probably thinking, hang on a minute, those colours don't look quite on point, do they? And what's going on? There's some of these boxes look a little bit bigger. They're supposed to be just individual pixels. What's going on? Well, if I pause that and now unpause it, can you see something happening? Look at the colours while the screen is paused, while there is no scrolling happening at all. Look at the greens, look at the blues. Just look at the definition of those pixels. And now what I'm going to do is press space to get the scrolling going again. And some of those, the vibrance of some of the colours has gone. We seem to have more greens and browns. What's happening here? There's something odd, and some of these pixels look a little bit bigger. So let's look at this white one here, where my mouse pointer is. And if I start scrolling, it looks a little bit bigger. Let's pick another one. There's a blue one here. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if this will pick out on the video, but we've got a white pixel, then we've got a blue pixel. And now I'm going to start scrolling. And that blue pixel seems to have turned into a red and a green. What's happening there? Interesting. Let's do some more coding and I will explain. So what we're going to do then is in our starfield command, this bit down here, we were going to have some extra fun. I'm going to put some extra fun code in here and that will help explain what's going on that screen. So I'm going to do that now. Right, I have added some extra code. I've added a procedure called extra, and I've added that procedure into the Starfield setup thingy that's giving me my Starfields. I forgot to say, I'm doing this loop twice, once for screen 2 and once for screen 3. So the first time through it'll do for screen 2, it'll create a Starfield, and then it'll do it again for screen 3. That's fine. So once that's done, it's going to go into a procedure called extra, and extra is literally just a load of bar commands that are going to make a word up on the screen. And I've got a wait key command down here because I want to show you what happens. Oh, my Amiga's dusty. What happens when I run this. So quickly save that. There's no errors. Right, so we'll run it. And this is what I've got. So I've got the letters AMOS. They're sitting on screen 3. My Starfield is behind it. Look at the colors. The lettering is in red, and I've got my greens and blues and reds of the Starfield in the background, and white, and obviously the flashing yellow. It's all looking very pretty. So the reason I've done this is to demonstrate what happens now. When I hit the space bar and this starts scrolling, you'll see something weird happening with the colors. Are you ready? Sitting tight, all set? Look at that. What's happened? Where's my red gone? And once again, some of the pixels here, we've got this kind of brown effect, and some of the pixels are a little bit bigger. It's not what we had when we make the screen static. Now, as I've hit spacebar now and it's paused it, but the colors are still messed up. It's still not right. So we've got two issues here. We've got the colors have all gone to pot, which isn't great. And if we look at the scrolling, when I pause it, these pixels are individual pixels. You know, they're just the individual pixels shown on the screen, no problem there. But when I start scrolling, if you look, some of them seem to double up and we get a bit of a flicker coming in. Now, your mileage is going to vary based on your screen and your screen refresh rate, of course. These things are always factors. But these are two distinct problems that we have here now, and we need to think about how we're going to address them. Because while we've got some parallax scrolling, and to be fair, we've got parallax scrolling in a programming language which is effectively BASIC. So this is quite an achievement. I mean, normally, kind of precursor to this, you would have been doing this in assembly, you know, right at the bare metal. But now we're doing it very, very easily. But we've got some issues. So we need to think about how we're going to do that, and I'm going to explain that next. So to get around these problems, we're going to need to make use of two new commands, double buffer and auto back. But we're going to cover those in the next video. I want to try and keep these videos small and digestible, and if we were to cover double buffering in this video, it's going to start to get quite complex and heady. So this will definitely be covered in a future video. As usual with AMOS Pro, you tend to find that if you hit a problem, there'll be a command somewhere which will help you get around that problem, which is why I love it so much. So make sure you don't miss out, because in the next video, we're going to cover double buffering. Yay! Don't forget, the code for this program is available for download from my website. There'll be a link at the end of this video, and there'll be a link in the notes down below. But I think really we can say that for what we've managed to achieve here, using these commands, everything that we've built up, you know, the screen copy, the scrolling, everything, and now we've got dual Playfield in, we're starting to build up something quite exciting in AMOS. For not a great amount of coding. I mean, you know, let your imagination run wild. You can do all sorts of things here. And I know this isn't perfect. It's not 100% perfect, but we'll get there. But, you know, I think that's pretty damn cool. Parallax scrolling in AMOS. You know, someone call revision. Let's get this submitted as a demo for the Amiga. You know, well, one day, will an AMOS demo ever appear at revision? Who knows? If you would like to answer that question, please leave a comment down below. Right, so this purpose of this video was to do parallax scrolling in AMOS. We've managed to do that, so as far as I'm concerned, it's job done. Huzzah! And that is it for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget, the code for this program is available to download for free from my website. The address for that is here. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported me on my Ko-fi account. If you wish to do so, you can. The address for that is up here. I really enjoy creating these videos and I love your comments. Comments that you leave, the messages that I get, absolutely fantastic. Thank you. There's a lot of people getting a lot of value out of these, and these screen videos have proven to be quite popular, which is excellent. You can, of course, find me on the usual social media channels. There's a list scrolling up the screen now. Don't forget, the next video, we're going to carry on with this, so we'll get around to doing that double buffering, which is going to be fantastic. The journey is continuing and getting more and more exciting. So thanks once again for watching this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these videos. But until the next video, whatever you do, stay safe and keep it retro.